Hi, I'm back here in SwiftPOS back office. Today I'm going to be doing a video on how to create a brand new product from scratch and all of the considerations that go along with that. So I'm currently logged into SwiftPOS back office, and I'm now going to navigate to products and product records. And here's a list of all the products that presently exist in the database. Now, going into this, it's a good idea to know what kind of PLU and product code you intend to use for your new product, as well as what group and category it's going to go into. So if, for example, you're adding a new product which is similar to other products, perhaps a packaged beer, for example, you might like to stick with a PLU range that encompasses those existing packaged beers. And to do that, you might like to run an unused PLU report, especially if you're adding lots of new products. You can always change these at a later time. However, it's always easier to get the right PLU the first time. So to run an unused PLU reports, you can navigate to reports down the bottom here. And all of the reports are categorized by menu type. So I'm going to look at products, expand that tree, and right down the bottom we've got unused PLU numbers. Now I already know what PLU number I want to use for this product, but for example, if I put 1000 to 5000 in the PLU filters and preview that, it's going to give me a report showing all of the PLU numbers that aren't currently in use. And you might like to use this report to pick a range which you intend to populate with new products. So close out of that and that tab. And now that I know that I'm going to use PLU 1500, I'm going to click New down the bottom. And this will automatically fill the new product that's been created with default values. So you'll have the first or the next available product code, a default description, no pricing, and the very first category and group. So the first thing we want to do is assign a product code, and I intend to use 1500 as my product code. And I'm going to call this Corona. Corona Stubby. Click on the blue short description text, and that will copy the first 16 characters into the short description. You can then assign a PLU number. Again, I'm going to use 1500. Then I can proceed to add prices, whatever they happen to be. Now, you only have to fill in the prices that are actually in use at your venue, so you might only use the first 3 or the first 4 price levels. And I'm going to do that pretty arbitrarily. There we go. The next thing that you'll want to do is assign the correct category and group. So I'll do that just here. I did create these categories, beer import pack, just a moment ago, but I'll cover that in detail in another video, how to create or rename categories as you need to. So for now I'm just using beer import pack as the category and group. Now this is a single, so it's just going to have a size of 1 and each. You could put 330 mils or what have you in there if you wanted to, but for the purposes of this type of product, I'm going to use 1 each. The product type is also fairly important. Again, being the single, this is going to be the purchased item, the one that's invoiced in. And every subsequent product, so for example a 6-pack of these would be a recipe item, and you would recipe 6 of these guys. Now that's important to note because you've also got a field down here for case quantity. and here you'll want to put in how many items are in a case. That makes it easier when you're doing stock takes and also doing supplier invoices, to say that you've received 2 cases and it knows that that is 48 individual stubbies. By default, this product is going to be active in all the locations you have. You may like to alter that, but in general it's fine to leave them active. I'll save the changes I've made there. One thing you might also want to do in here is to add a barcode, if you happen to know what that barcode is. I don't. That's a popular one. So we've got a barcode in, and you might also want to add a supplier. Again, this is used when you're doing supplier invoicing, purchasing products in, to define where you're actually purchasing that product from, which supplier. So I've just gone to suppliers and add, and then I'll change the default supplier to, I guess, that one. And I can add an order code as well if I want to, and save the changes. Now these fields are empty, but as soon as we have some purchase history of this product, these will be populated. Close that. And the same goes for the cost here. If you know what the cost is, you can put the cost in directly, but this will be automatically updated when you purchase this item. Okay, so having created this product now, we can then move on to create other products. So for example, the next one that I want to create is a 6-pack of these, and that will allow me to demonstrate how to recipe to that item. So you can either create that from within the full header of this product by going to the little arrow next to new, and you can copy the existing product, which is what I'm going to do, or if it was something different, you would go to create new product. So by going copy, it copies all of the same data that I had in there, including the description, and it increments the product code and PLU by 1, which is exactly what I want. So at this point I can go and modify the description as needed. So I'm just adding 6-pack on the end. We'll want to change the price of that one. I'm just making these numbers up. And it's already in the correct category and group. If you had individual categories and groups for 6-packs to separate them from other product types, you could then reassign it here, but I don't need to do that at this point. The next thing I'm going to do is change the product type to recipe, and save those changes. It's going to warn you that you're making that change. And this will allow me to create a recipe for this particular item. So I'm going to navigate here to sourced from, and I'm going to start building a recipe in here. I'm going to click on add and press enter on that blank field, and this will allow me to search for all of the products in my database to determine where I'm actually recipeing it from. These search filters that you see up the top here are the same, basically the same as what you see in the product records search filters, and they do function the same way. So I'm looking for the Corona stubby, so I'll just type part of the description, press enter, and you can see it lists the Corona stubby as well as the one that I've just created. So that's the one we want to go for, 1500. Click OK on that. And the recipe size, this is a 6-pack, so that's going to be 6. This cost here is calculated from the cost of the single, so when I save that, that will update to approximately 6 times the cost of the single. if you had multiple lines in this grid, the individual costs of the ingredients are going to be listed here, as well as the total cost of the ingredients. But I'll cover that more in a different recipeing video. So I'm going to close that now that I've saved it, and this product is now ready to go. So this product is now ready to be assigned to a keyboard, which I'll cover in the next video, and then sent down to the point of sale and be ready for use. So I'll cover that in the next video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.